In Indian culture, the form of greeting, actually in the scripture itself, a question has been raised. Because literally, when we greet each other, namaskar, the lady I think is from Vietnam. She's Vietnam. She's nodding her head, because in Southeast Asia also, the greeting is very similar. So when we greet, literally it means, I bow before you. So in the scripture itself, a question has been raised, why somebody should bow before, why a human being should bow before another human being? And the reply given is that I do not bow before somebody who is like me. The divinity which dwells in me recognizes the divinity which dwells in the other person. And my divinity, in recognition of that divinity, pays respect to that divinity. So for us, according to Indian culture, every human being is potentially divine. We are not ordinary beings. We have the potential. One of the biggest contribution of India's culture to the world is that this culture has divinized the humanity and elevated the humanity to the level of divinity. Once we accept that basic principle, that all of us have divinity lying buried inside us under the layers of ego, the meditation, in Farsi we will say riyazat. As a result, in Arabic also several words have been used, tadabbur, fikr, zikr. So more you do that, more you keep removing those layers of ego one by one, and then it gives rise to the emergence of that divinity which lies buried in you. And when that divinity emerges, then what happens? Then you do not judge a person on the basis of the color of her or his skin. You do not judge a person on the basis of his faith tradition. You do not judge a person on the basis of the language that person speaks. Rather, you take that person not even on the basis of gender. Every person, then you can see the divine in every person. And if you start seeing divine in every person, where is the question of your even having remotest possibility of having any ill will towards that person? Then it becomes impossible. And that we consider that is the great asset, great contribution of the Indian culture, and that possibly is the reason that why even in the past, when according to 11th, 12th centuries, the European Renaissance had not yet taken off, but Middle East had become hub of intellectual activities. And in the 12th and 13th century, many Arab historians, right from Tabari to Ibn Asir, Ibn Kasir, Khaldun, Ibn Rushd, everybody, they have written world history, which consists of 9, 10, 11 volumes. And if you refer to those books, the first chapter is invariably devoted to description of the world civilizations. And it has been mentioned therein that the world has 5 dominant civilizations. The Persian civilization is known. I don't see any Iranian young person sitting here. No, Iranians are there. Persian civilization is known for its splendor and majesty. The Turkish civilization is known for its bravery. Chinese civilization for its craftsmanship. And Chinese, Persian, and then finally the 5th Indian civilization, they say this is one civilization which is known for promotion of knowledge and wisdom. And that is why even in the past, when India supposedly, in fact all historical accounts show, that we attracted people from all over the world because of the prosperity which India enjoyed, because of whatever it was. Nobody has ever felt threatened by India. Why? Because the basic feature of our culture is that we see divine in all beings. And we see that you have that potential and you can. Why I have elaborated this thing? It's a great pleasure for me to inaugurate this youth summit. And today is Swami Vivekananda's birthday. And this day we celebrate in India as the Youth Day. And in the recent centuries, Swami Vivekananda has been one of the most powerful exponent of these cultural values. In fact, he his concern was not only Indians. He made it clear, absolutely clear. Because of the in a letter he writes, he says, and he devotes his whole life for spreading, making people aware of these values. In one of his letters he says that my mission can be explained in very simple and plain words. I want to teach unto mankind, not to Indians, just only Indians. No. I want to teach unto mankind their divinity. You are divine. You have immense potential. Don't assess yourself to be small. You are not small. There is a beautiful couplet in an Indian language, but I shall translate it. Rai zore khudi se parbat, parbat zore khudi se zofe khudi se rai. If the small seed has this self-confidence, then it acquires the status of a big mountain. And if the mountain suffers from lack of confidence in itself, then it reduces itself into a tiny seed of no value. This is an occasion. I'm so happy to meet all you young people who have come here to pursue their studies, because knowledge is one thing which helps you in unfolding the divine potential. Again, I would like to refer to Swami Vivekananda. he said, what is the purpose of life? To pursue happiness? Then he says, if that is the summum and bonum of your life, then what prevents you from making others unhappy in order to secure your own happiness? Therefore, pursuit of happiness cannot be considered as the goal of life. Then what is the goal of life? He says, the goal of life is pursuit of knowledge. Utlubul ilma law kana bis-sin. Even if you have to travel to distant land to pursue knowledge, travel by all means. Then what is the purpose of knowledge? He says the purpose of knowledge is, this world is so full of diversities. We people who are sitting in this room, each one has a different skin color. Maybe small groups, we speak different languages. We may believe in God, we may not believe in God, but if we believe in God, we may offer our devotions in different ways. So this whole world is, universe is full of diversity. Even the students of the sciences of biodiversity realize how many species in the world are there. Why has God created so many species? It means the law of the universe is diversity. So Swami Vivekananda says that the purpose of knowledge is to find unity amidst diversity. If we are different, then that should not lead to conflict. Rather, the differences should be viewed as source to strengthen our basic unity, because we need basic unity to pursue our goals. And India has always, not now, to the facilities which science has created for us. With one small mobile phone, we are in contact with anybody in the world, anywhere. But 4,000 years back, 3,000 years back, Indian sages envisaged a world, Samudra Paryanta Prithviya Ekraj. Let there be one organization to coordinate the affairs of the world, of the whole earth, up to the limit of the seas, oceans. They had envisaged one, not necessarily government, but some coordinating agency like UNO, like G20, or many other. What does that mean? That means that we cannot be satisfied with the structure of these bodies as they exist today. They need constant reformation. The UN was constituted in the year 1948. 48? So, 45. While constituting Security Council, while constituting other bodies of the UN, while laying down the rules, the ground realities which existed at that time, they were taken into consideration. Now it's more than 70 years. The ground realities are changing. Situation is changing. Situation is never static. Therefore, when Indian sages talked about Samudra Paryanta Prithviya Ekraj, and they envisaged of international bodies to coordinate the affairs of the humanity, then they thought that some dynamic mechanism which is capable of taking into consideration the changes which happen on a regular basis, so that affairs can be conducted more effectively. I think I have gone off the script for too long. And how much time I have already taken? Huh? I have already taken. I'm so sorry, so I have gone off the script. The burden of song is basically one thing. I'm sure since you are living in India, you are pursuing your education here. And I have, the points which I have made is in the context that you, everybody in the world can be rest assured that a powerful India can be only of help to the other countries, to the humanities. Powerful India can never become a threat to anybody in the world. Never. We always enjoy, we rejoice. Why? Because our cultural values do not allow us to think in terms of dominating over others, imposing our views on others. I have every freedom and every right to pursue my beliefs, but I have no right to try to impose my belief on others. That is the basic salient feature of Indian civilization. Since you are pursuing your education here, I hope and pray that you imbibe these cultural values, and after you finish your education and you go to your own respective countries, you become ambassador of Indian culture and Indian value. Thank you very much. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Jai Hind.
Welcome to Kerala, the God's own country. And I wish all of you a prosperous and happy new year. As we celebrate the 75th year of our independence, the world has added one more jewel to India's crown by giving her a global position as the leader of a prestigious international organization, G20. From the beginning of history of the independent India, the great leaders of our nation decided and formed a policy of peaceful coexistence of all nations. In early years during the Cold War era, it seemed that the world was divided into two camps. But even then, our great leaders like Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru has found a via media to tackle this issue by forming a new diplomatic forum, the non-alignment movement. This emerged as a new ideology to the world to avoid the dangers of conflict of two strong groups. In the present scenario, India has a vital role in the global politics. During the period of Cold War, we had taken an intermediate position in the world politics. But after the Cold War and the initiation of globalization, the picture of the world politics has changed. A lot of organizations emerged during this period, and most of them had hidden agendas. During the end of the last century, in the period of global financial crisis, the world leaders of powerful countries thought about forming a new organization which is capable of controlling the world economy. Moreover, the threat of climate change as well as carbon emission has become a major problem around the world. Thus, the powerful countries in the world got together to form a new group which is known as Group of 20 or G20. And now, after 23 years, India got the presidency of that prestigious world organization. Since India is a country with majority of young population, youth of this nation has all right to celebrate it. As Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam has said, the ignited mind of the youth is the most powerful resource on the earth, under the earth and above the earth. It is true that the youth is quick responsive to the new ideas and change. Due to the recent technological advancement in social media, youth today is better informed and more reactive than their predecessors. The youth will be an asset to the society, if they are properly understood, channeled and recognized by the society. We know that any developmental effort will remain weak without the active cooperation of youth. The power of youth has to be intelligently involved in social problems and community projects. National level voluntary services like Nehru Yuva Kendra provide a useful mechanism for youth to express their urge for action in concrete terms and contribute towards social reconstruction and national development. We should try to increase the number of young participation in all social activities and should try to introduce environment issues like climate change along with the community service. Since India holds the presidency of G20, we have the responsibility to act along with the G20 group to achieve its declared objectives. The youth of the nation has a major role in this program. As this campaign is to protect our environment, it should essentially be a youth-centered program. The G20 has, for a long time, been actively involving in organizing programs to protect the environment of the world. During the last decade, the need of the atmospheric pollution control has received great attention, and many agitation by youth were held during the world summits demanding for sustainable and reasonable steps to tackle the issue of climate change. If there is no meaningful coordination of various activities in different parts of the world, there will be no concrete result. The government of Kerala has initiated some drastic steps to control the atmospheric pollution in the transport sector also. The transport department, I am the Minister of Transport of Kerala, so the transport department is promoting e-vehicles which are environmental friendly. We are also supporting new initiatives in this field. The government is also giving support for promoting e-vehicles in Kerala. The environment policy of every country should reflect global vision of G20. The cornerstone of such policy should be in accordance with the Bharatiya Darshan Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, which means the world is one family. I hope there will be a fruitful exchange of views and ideas in this youth summit. And I express my sincere appreciation to the organizers of this conference for the timely response during this period of India's presidency of G20. Thank you very much.